Tonight, a The Point recap. We'll revisit the political days at the Illinois State Fair, the unofficial kickoff of the fall campaign. Let's get to the point.
From Chicago's very own, with WGN political editor Tahman Bradley, this is The Point.
Good evening. The politicians stopped here at the Illinois State Fair this week for party business and fun. The Democrats had their day on Wednesday. Take a look.
We know what we stand for. We believe that everyone deserves to make a livable wage so they can take care of their families. We believe that everyone who needs to see a doctor should be able to get one when they need it. And we believe that every child deserves access to a quality education, no matter their zip code.
At a time when Donald Trump and MAGA Republicans and his entire freak show are demonstrating how the government can be distorted to satisfy the greed of the wealthy and the greed of Donald Trump's own pockets, while robbing working families blind, Illinois Democrats are showing what it means to truly fight for the people.
Thursday, it was the Republicans' turn. Take a look.
My opponents' extreme agenda are bad for Illinois and they're bad for this country.
Families are struggling after 8 years. You, J.B. Pritzker, own this result. J.B. Pritzker owns the highest property taxes in America. J.B. Pritzker owns the soaring utility bills. He owns these taxes. He owns these tolls, the fees that are taking more from working families every day, and enough is enough.
To help us understand what's going on in the campaign, we grabbed Patrick Pfingsten of the Illinoize. Joining us now is Patrick Pfingsten of the Illinoize. What's up, man?
How you doing?
How do I identify you? Are you Republican, Independent?
So I mean, for those that know, I used to work in Republican politics. I was a journalist, and I worked in Republican politics. Not a Republican anymore, and now write this independent, newsletter, journalist, analyst, whatever the heck you want to call me. Just don't call me late for dinner.
Okay, me either. I feel you on that. All right, let's talk about Darren Bailey. Second cycle in a row that he is the GOP standard bearer. Are there any signs that this is going to go differently?
So we're recording this at Republican Day. Did you even know that Darren Bailey was running as you pulled up here? There's no signage. There's no presents. There's no T-shirts. The stage is plain, right? And the Pritzker people have more money than they know what to do with. But these guys can brand, right? The Democrats brand. There were JB signs all along the fence outside the director's lawn on Wednesday. There's nothing that even says that this is a Bailey event, right? Other than a few T-shirts and some staff, right? It just shows how unorganized and how little motivation there is in the Republican Party in 2026. And right in 2022, Bailey was like this grassroots hero, right? He had come to fame or infamy, depending on who you are, on the COVID stuff and the fights against the governor's executive orders, and built this huge following, and there was a ton of momentum for him going in. 4 years later, it's just like, yeah, we're probably going to lose.
If the grassroots say, this is the guy we want, send me, isn't it on the elected officials and the establishment to figure it out? Because why are you not, like, if J.B. Pritzker's the problem and you say you don't like the past 8 years, you think he's going to try to go off to Washington anyway, then why can't the party figure it out and make the numbers work?
Well, the problem is primary voters, right? It's the primary system, essentially, because who comes out in a primary? It's the most conservative, most hardcore Republicans. So in a state like Illinois, where if you're going to nominate a general election candidate for governor, it has to be someone that can play in the suburbs, someone who can get to 20% in the city of Chicago. They're not doing that, right? Darren Bailey's not that guy. He proved 4 years ago he's not that guy, and he's doing an even poorer job of it this time around. So Republican primary voters have no one to blame but themselves, because they went to the polls and said, we want the guy who's the most Trumpy. We want the guy who's the most conservative, not necessarily the person who can walk away and say, this is the one that can win in November.
It seems like Democrats were a little bit off message this summer, the scandals that came from Springfield and et cetera. What does Bailey do at this point? What's the best play?
Well, let me just say, first of all, that the internal divisions of the Democrats is a thing. I don't know that voters care at all about what Chris Welch is doing or what some former state representative in the southwest suburbs said to an intern. It's bad, right? It looks terrible. But it's the insiders. It's the sickos like us that pay attention to this internal political stuff. And if there's polling of Chris Welch out there that says, oh, House Democrats are in huge trouble because Chris Welch liked some thirst traps on Instagram, that's probably a farce. I don't think it's going to look that way. For Republicans, though, they've completely lost the message in this election because they've allowed Democrats to make this a Trump election. That Trump bad, right? Gas prices are Trump's fault. That tariffs, prices are high because of Trump's tariffs, which are true, but Republicans had a way to message this, that these things are J.B. Pritzker's fault. Your property taxes are through the roof because J.B. Pritzker hasn't done a darn thing about them. Your energy prices are through the roof because CJA closed down natural gas plants all around the state and are making us a power importer instead of a power exporter. And your gas prices are high because J.B. Pritzker raised the gas tax in the Capitol bill. It's now almost 50 cents a gallon, and it's costing you a heck of a lot at the pump, more than the federal gas tax, and is only adding to the pain that the Iran war is making.
All right, let's talk about the Democrats, and I'm going to set it up this way because this week Aaron Del Mar said that if you're up by 30 points, you don't put $65 million into your campaign. Someone called that naive.
If you believe that, I've got some oceanfront property in Arizona for you, right? J.B. Pritzker isn't afraid of Darren Bailey. J.B. Pritzker wants to step on Darren Bailey's throat. They don't just want to win this race. They want to clobber him. They want to embarrass him. They want to put the Republican Party in the ground. That's how ruthless these guys are. And luckily for them, Republicans are making it easy for Democrats to do that at the ballot box.
And so in terms of the Democratic day, what did you hear? What was the messaging other than Trump?
Well, that is the message, right? That's the only Democrat message is Trump, Trump, Trump. I'm interested if you agree here. I felt like it was either confidence bordering on overconfidence or just ho hum, we're going to win everything anyway, so we're going through the motions at the state fair. And either one shows, I don't think it's a complacency. I think it's just they know the deck is stacked in their favor, either through gerrymandering of congressional and legislative seats or the governor's gigantic financial advantage over Bailey, dumping $65 million into the campaign last week to a total of $440 million, right, since 2017, which he didn't like me bringing up Wednesday, interestingly enough. So it was, I felt like they were just going through the motions.
To me, I think they were excited that they could get back on message because I think, people like us pay attention to it, but there's no question that it was not the summer that they wanted it to be. But I also, we pay attention to the smaller things, right? Alexi Janulius and Susana Mendoza. Susana Mendoza essentially knifing him for saying, hey, you guys, the activists, deserve someone who's going to be all in for the office that they're running for, referring to the fact that he wants to keep his job as Secretary of State this November while still running for Chicago mayor. She's also running for Chicago mayor, but learned from a couple cycles ago to only choose to run for that and not run for re-election and comptroller. Her not showing up at the fairgrounds after talking at the brunch. And so you had that dynamic playing out. Speaker Welch being nowhere to be found, making you wonder. I mean, his people think he's okay and he'll survive everything that's going on. But if you can't talk to a picnic of Democrats, it makes you wonder, well, how does he feel about his job?
I don't know. I mean, I think he was avoiding us more than he was avoiding Democrats.
Well, we talk to him all the time. What's wrong with us?
Well, you get special one-on-one interviews for
you get it too.
In his little tour of
apology tour.
His little apology tour, and I didn't get one of those. The Tribune didn't get one of those, and the Tribune was writing all the stories about him. So they're avoiding some people for sure, and he certainly didn't want me or Rick Pearson chasing him around the state fairgrounds, asking him about his bad dealings on Instagram. So it's just I think it was more he just didn't want to deal with the media than it was that he was afraid of sitting with Democrats or anything. And he and the Senate president don't speak at the brunch anymore. They pulled them off the speakers list 2 or 3 years ago just because it's so packed and it runs long anyway. So they took the legislative leaders off a couple of years ago.
All right. I booked us a tea time over at the Rail. It's a former LPGA course. I think they called it the State Farm Tournament. Hopefully I'm not messing that up.
Yep.
Let's head down there and play it. It's a really great course.
How many strokes am I getting? 20?
Patrick Pfingsten, thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
And we're back in 60 seconds.
Plus app.
Can't come to the fair without a corn dog and a lemonade shaker.
Tonight, a tip of the hat to the food here at the State Fair. The horseshoe, both dinner and dessert, the ribeye, all of it.
Red velvet funnel cake. Deep fried Oreos.
And that is the point from the Illinois State Fair this week. We hope you have a good weekend. There's more news coming up at 9 o'clock. I'm Tahman Bradley. From all of us here at WGN, good night.